What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Do me a favor, real quick, before we get into this video today. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. We do college football content here at Ballard Sports Media. Love the channel name. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a college football channel. Now, yes, I am working towards my goals of getting in the sports business and, become like being part of the media and everything like that. We're working towards it for sure. But it kind of faded with basketball and baseball, to be honest. And I don't know how we got off track, but yeah, it's kind of faded. I'm not against those sports at all. I'm not against talking about it. But if I'm being honest with this YouTube right now, it has really become unless there's a major sports story, we really just talk college football and everything. So I feel like we just kind of keep it at that. We're going to keep the channel name and everything, but that's just kind of where we're at with everything. But speaking of college football today, I'm not going to do this for every team. If you have a suggested team, I don't mind looking at it. We'll try to get back to some team previews if we can. I don't think we're going to be able to do what our goal was this year, which was to get every Power 5 team, which a lot of people said that's crazy, and looking back now, I agree. I think you just need to stick to the main teams that everyone wants to hear about, and you preview those teams, and we've gotten quite a few good teams out there. I think we've done Miami, we've done Alabama, we've done Georgia, I think we did Florida out there. Clemson, I know we did. So we got some of the basics out there. But conference week, by the way, is coming up very soon here next week at Ballard Sports Media. That being said, let's get into a lot of great guests, by the way, for next week. Just tune in to the channel next week. Hit that notification bell, when we go live. Let's get into today's topic. Want to look at Alabama's schedule 2024, but we want to rank the schedule from the easiest game to the toughest game. And some of this might be obvious because of the non conference type. But then you have to ask yourself, what really is the toughest game on the schedule for Alabama? And you also got to factor in some things. You know, I came up with 3 things we would factor in. Number 1, where's the game location-wise and where is it on the schedule? Are they gonna overlook teams for a certain game? I don't know. That happens in college football. We'll see if that plays a big role this year for the Crimson Tide. Kalen DeBoer in year 1, he's lost some guys. He's also brought some guys in, got a whole new staff. It's a new culture, it's a new era. He still wants to keep a championship standard at Alabama. But at the same time, those are just words, as my grandfather would tell me. Those are just words. He's got to go out and he's got to show championship status. Also, factor this in 2 new teams, Texas and Oklahoma, but no divisions. They get rid of divisions. So it's not like Alabama. If you look at their schedule, you notice they took away the the Mississippi schools. They took away State and they took away Ole Miss. They don't play those teams this year. Let's go ahead and pull up what they do play though, because really, when you look at it, you you actually get 4 East, quote unquote, teams on the schedule this year. So let's look at their schedule and then we'll get into where they rank in terms of toughness and how easy the game is. Western Kentucky, USF, at Wisconsin, get a bye week. Georgia, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, third Saturday game in Knoxville. They lost that 2 years ago. Missouri at LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma on the road, and Auburn at Bryant Denny Stadium. I am going to the USF and the Iron Bowl games this year. One with just my mom. That'll be the Iron Bowl. I got her tickets for Mother's Day. And then USF will be with both of my parents. So again, factor in no divisions. It's Kalen DeBoer's first year. Go ahead and rank. Uh, I kinda put within 12 games, I put 6 games on each of the banners that I have. Let's just go ahead and put it up here, and let's talk about this because this is gonna be some debate, but I think it gets harder to rank as you go down the schedule. I really believe that. But I take it as what are the easiest teams that they can beat? I would say that I pretty much have it laid out here. I look at LSU, I know what you're saying. How are they even in the top 6? That's gonna be a pretty tough game. I agree. But again, you gotta factor in who you're playing, where you're playing, and I say road games are very important when it comes to college football. LSU's on the road this year for Alabama. It's gonna be tough, but I also look at LSU's standpoint and I say, well, they've lost Jaden Daniels, they lost an offensive lineman or 2 and some defenders. So they've lost some guys to the NFL. They're gonna try to rebuild and try to figure some stuff out this year, but they'll still be pretty good. Looking at the schedule, let's start with this. I'm gonna put the easiest game being Western Kentucky week 1. I think right out the gate, it's a night game in Tuscaloosa. They should win that game, no problem. USF, I'm gonna put them at number 3. I'm gonna put Mercer, which is before the Iron Bowl. If I'm No, no, no. It's 2 weeks before the Iron Bowl. They usually will play that game before Auburn. They actually have to go to Norman to play the Sooners before they go play Auburn at home. So, you look at this, Western Kentucky, Mercer, USF, South Florida, I'm going to that game, but it's still gonna be an easy game. I don't expect Alabama to really keep that game too close. Tyler Buckner started it last year under Nick Saban, and it got out of hand, but they still won the game 17-3 on the road. This is a home and home, but it still should be pretty easy. You can make a case that this could be a tough game for Kalen DeBoer. Again, trying to get used to the SEC here. You look at Vanderbilt, but it's Vanderbilt. I mean, what have they done except improve the past couple years? I still don't expect them to really make a ball game, and I think Alabama should be better. But I would say that's probably the 4th, I guess, easiest game, if you wanna put it that way. I don't know how you wanna put it. The easiest game is Western Kentucky, then you have Mercer, USF, Vandy, South Carolina at home. I might have them lower on this list if it was in Columbia. But you're gonna take care of Vanderbilt most likely. You gotta think too, Kalen DeBoer, offensive-minded coach, brings in some transfers from Washington, Parker Brailsford at center, and then you got Jalen Milroe, you got Justice Haynes, you got these guys on offense. You're gonna have the talent that he can coach up. You're going to have that. So, I look at this and I say that the schedule is not going to get tougher as it goes because I kind of do hop around, right? Like, it's going to be a roller coaster. Think about it. You start out with the easy games first, at least 2 of them. You get an easy game in November. You have Vandy in October, South Carolina the following week. Then you go all the way to November in LSU. I expect LSU to be rebuilding, but of the West Division teams, again, we have no divisions, but you look at LSU, they're going to be pretty good. They're going to be the best of those Western type of teams in the SEC, but Jaden Daniels is gone. Like, they gotta figure out the quarterback situation. Brian Kelly's a defensive coach. Haven't seen too much defense from him yet, but he has had a quarterback that can lead his offense. And I don't know if they really have much answers this season. So I look at those first 6 games. You got to go to Madison. You can make a case for Wisconsin being one of the tougher games, and again, we're going from easy to tough when it comes to ranking these games. At Wisconsin, Missouri, Auburn, I would say is on the bottom half of this schedule. It's the last game of the year. It's the Iron Bowl. Does Kalen DeBoer know what he's getting into? At Tennessee, UGA, and at Oklahoma. Now, those last three. At Neyland, Tennessee's going to be pretty good. You got Nico at quarterback. Uh, got a lot of guys returning on defense too. Josh Heupel's been a proven head coach, at least good enough to lead the Volunteers. Will maybe we talk about Tennessee a little bit more this offseason? Maybe we could dive into it. But they lost that game in 2022. And I look at it like Joe Milton is gone. He got drafted by the Patriots. They got Nico Amaliva coming in at quarterback. And honestly, I think road environments in the SEC matter. They do. Nick Saban had a hard time with them. What do you think Kalen DeBoer is going to do? He's a West Coast guy. He's coming over from Washington. He's coming to the Southeastern Conference. Here's the thing about Kalen DeBoer is that the pressure is going to be on him because you're the guy. If you think that Nick Saban leaving Alabama means nobody's going to watch Alabama, you're insane. They're watching because of the coach. And quite honestly, I don't know if they could really handle it. I'm not saying he can't handle the job. I'm just the pressure, at least for this first year. He's got the talent, but you got to be that leader. You got to step up. You got to lead this squad. You have to if you're Kalen DeBoer. And you look at this schedule, it's going to be tough. It's going to get tougher as the season goes on. And let's just be like, even Kirby Smart, I'd have to pull it up. Don't quote me on it. Didn't he have 3 or 4 losses in his first year, and then he made a national title? Look, I'm not saying Kalen DeBoer can't have that success, but it's his first year. What kind of coach comes into the SEC, no matter what the talent is, what kind of coach is gonna come into the SEC and not have pressure, not have some hiccups, not have some losses? I think I picked them 9-3 this offseason when we first started the prediction videos. And if you think he knows what he's getting into in this game right here, this Iron Bowl, the biggest rivalry in college football, definitely in the SEC. I'm sorry, you couldn't even see that. Look, this one, this Iron Bowl, right here. This is important. If you lose that game in Tuscaloosa, come on, man. Oh, it's okay. It's just his first year. No, this game means everything. It's a tough game, too. Now, I put Auburn at 9, but here's the thing. Kalen DeBoer in his first year with Alabama. I had a coworker talking football with me the other day, and he was just saying, "Dude, I'm telling you, Jalen Milroe, he could win the Heisman." It took everything in me to keep my mouth shut. Because I'm not gonna sit there as an Alabama fan and tell you everything's alright with this program right now. Did you see how the defense looked in the spring game? Outside of Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., it looks suspect. The offensive line struggled a little bit. It looks stronger, I'm not gonna lie, but they got a lot of work to do, bro. They really do. So, ranking the schedule from easy to tough, I've said a lot in this video. It's not gonna be an easy year for Alabama. It starts easy with Western Kentucky, USF early on. You'll have the non-conference games. Going to Madison, hosting Auburn, hosting Georgia, going to Norman and Neyland Stadium. You got to go to Norman and you got to go to Knoxville. Knoxville's a rival. Tennessee's a rival. They beat you in 2022 there. I would expect Tennessee to get a little bit better this year. Again, they got to replace some guys. I think they get better. I'll be shocked if Alabama walks all over these teams. It will be shocked. I'm not trying to not have faith in the team I pull for. I'm trying to be realistic and as realistic as possible. This is a tough schedule. If Nick Saban were the head coach, I wouldn't be saying these things. I can already see the comments. Oh, if Nick Saban was the head coach, you'd be saying something else. Yeah, because Nick Saban would know what he's doing. Well, he retired. He's out of the picture. He might be behind the scenes, but he can only do so much to help Kalen DeBoer. This is going to be a tough year for Alabama. We already talked about it in the preview video this year, which I don't even remember if I did that before or after his retirement. But I look at it now and I just say we're ranking the schedule like from easy to tough. Tennessee's tough. Georgia's tough. I think Oklahoma late in the year, if that were, it might be an easier game if you had it in like September or something and Oklahoma's still trying to figure stuff out. But like late in the year, Brent Venables should have a good squad. They'll get it figured out. So, anyway, I've gone on long enough. I love you guys. God loves you. Trust and believe it. We'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. Let me know your opinions on how tough this schedule is for Alabama. And then let me know how you would rank these games. We'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. God bless.